The Kafkaesque case of Kilmar Abrego García, a clash of courts and country. The saga of Kilmar Abrego García, a Maryland resident erroneously deported to a notorious El Salvadoran prison, highlights a stark power struggle between the judiciary and the executive branch of the United States government. This isn't simply a case of bureaucratic error. It's a chilling example of how the pursuit of a controversial immigration policy can lead to profound injustices, and how the very mechanisms designed to protect individuals can be manipulated and disregarded. Abrego García, an immigrant from El Salvador with protected status, found himself living a life seemingly free from the threat of deportation. He lived in Maryland, building a life, a family. Then, in a stunning turn of events, he was deported to El Salvador on March 15, 2023, a victim of what the Trump administration later admitted was a significant administrative error. This error occurred despite a 2019 immigration judge's explicit order prohibiting his deportation. His deportation was part of a broader, controversial Trump-era initiative aimed at swiftly removing individuals deemed to be gang members, often bypassing established due process procedures. Hundreds were sent to El Salvador in this manner, their lives upended by a policy prioritizing speed and expediency over fundamental rights. This swift and arguably unlawful deportation left Abrego García's wife and family devastated. Their desperate plea for his return triggered a legal battle that would expose the deep fissures between the executive branch's assertion of power in foreign affairs and the judiciary's commitment to upholding the rule of law, even when dealing with international complexities. The family launched a lawsuit against the Trump administration, demanding the government facilitate Abrego García's return. On April 4th, District Judge Paula Zinnes issued a clear directive: the administration must facilitate and effectuate his repatriation. This initial victory, however, was only the beginning of a protracted legal struggle. The Trump administration's response to this court order was not one of compliance, but rather a calculated attempt to deflect responsibility. On Thursday, the Supreme Court upheld Judge Zinnes' order, though it carefully added a caveat, urging a balance between enforcing the order and respecting the deference owed to the executive branch in the conduct of foreign affairs. This carefully worded ruling subtly shifted the focus towards the inherent complexities of international relations, hinting at the potential obstacles the government might face in negotiating Abrego García's return with El Salvador. However, this subtle shift in emphasis failed to prevent Judge Zinnes from publicly expressing her deep concern over the administration's blatant disregard for the court's order. Frustrated by the lack of cooperation, she demanded daily updates on the administration's efforts to secure Abrego García's release, highlighting the urgency of the situation and the administration's apparent lack of commitment to fulfilling their legal obligations. The administration's response was further complicated by a subsequent court filing on Saturday confirming Abrego García's location, the notorious CECOT megaprison in El Salvador. This confirmation, rather than triggering immediate action, only intensified the existing tensions. The revelation that he was alive, yet incarcerated in such a dangerous environment, served to further underscore the gravity of the situation and the administration's inaction. The government's legal strategy, as revealed in Sunday's filings, is a testament to its determination to avoid direct responsibility. The Department of Justice argued that securing Abrego García's return from El Salvador is a matter of foreign relations, a domain they insist lies outside the purview of the courts. This claim, while ostensibly based on the principle of separation of powers, appears to be a strategic maneuver to avoid accountability for the administration's actions. Further bolstering their argument, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, asserted in a separate filing that the 2019 order preventing Abrego García's deportation was invalidated because the administration now alleges he is a member of MS-13, a group now designated as a foreign terrorist organization. This post hoc justification, applied only after the illegal deportation, appears suspiciously convenient, used to retrospectively justify a decision made in violation of a previous court order. The case of Kilmar Abrego García is not simply an isolated incident of bureaucratic incompetence. It represents a critical clash between the rule of law and the assertion of executive power. It exposes the vulnerability of individuals caught in the machinery of immigration enforcement, especially within the context of controversial and potentially unlawful policies. It raises profound questions about the limits of executive authority when conflicting with judicial mandates, particularly when those mandates directly impact an individual's life and liberty. The ongoing legal battle underscores the urgent need for transparency, accountability, and a rigorous adherence to due process, even in the complex arena of international relations and immigration enforcement. The fate of Kilmar Abrego García remains uncertain, but his case serves as a stark warning. When the rule of law is disregarded, even the most basic human rights can be easily sacrificed at the altar of expediency and political expediency. The ongoing legal proceedings will undoubtedly determine not only Abrego García's fate, but also the future boundaries between executive power and judicial oversight, setting a vital precedent for future cases involving similar complex international and legal issues.